Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Dev Mentor Dave channel here on YouTube and Twitch, live streaming in both places. And I think I should probably move down a little bit. Hang on a second. Let me pull. And when I lean in, I get a little too close. There we go. All right, there we go. Should be a little bit better. Maybe. We'll see. All right, welcome back. Hope if you had the day off yesterday, hopefully it was enjoyable, and if you didn't have the day off, hopefully you were productive, whatever that looks like for you. So I had the day off yesterday for Labor Day. It was a day to celebrate. It was a day off of work to celebrate work and all the accomplishments of work. I'm not sure exactly how that is supposed to work, but hey, at least we got to eat food and be with family and all that fun stuff. So there you go. That always makes it better, right? The only thing that would have made it even better is if we'd have played some board games. But I did get some ping pong in. I didn't get to play any pool. I was over at my in-laws' house, and they have ping pong table and shuffleboard and pool table and something else, foosball table, all kinds of stuff down in their basement. They got cool after their kids got older and out of the house. So I think that's just the way it's supposed to work, right? 100 push-ups for every minute I'm late. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. I can't even do like 5 push-ups, let alone 1,000 push-ups. I'm storing those up. My son is in boot camp. He probably does about 1,000 push-ups a day, so I'll have him do them all when he gets home. So that'll be a nice surprise for him. So here's the problem, son. I kept showing up late to my live stream, and now the guy who could kick my butt with Taekwondo is telling me I have to do push-ups. So you get to do them for me. Yay! Welcome back. Of course, that's going to be a couple months away still. So oh well. It'll be fun when he does. At least throw it at him. But anyway, welcome back to the channel. If you are watching live, jump in the chat, say hello, just like Ming has here in the live chat over on Twitch. We do have a live chat over on YouTube, but it doesn't show on the bottom thing down here. I'm working on some new layouts. I haven't had a ton of time to do that. No, I'm going to take every excuse I possibly can. That's the way that it works. So I'm gonna do try to get something set up to where I can get all of these different feeds on the same screen, and hopefully in a way it's a little bit easier to see, that doesn't take as much real estate and all that fun stuff. So anyway, we are here. This is the Workday Recap. So this is where we jump on at the end of the day, talk about things that are going on in our world of development, whether that be at the job, on the job, outside of the job, something that we saw on Twitch or not Twitch, on Twitter or LinkedIn or any one of those different things. So if you've got a topic, got a question, feel free to drop it in the chat. If you have a question, you're watching this later on YouTube, feel free to leave a comment, and I will most likely answer it on the next day. For some reason, your chats are not showing up on the bottom thing anymore. At least not for me. That's annoying. I wonder if I retransition, if that'll work. I don't know. That's weird. That's kind of annoying. Let me try. Huh. I don't know. We might just have to get rid of the chat because it's not loading everything. Anyway, not that that's important. Awesome. So, Ming, you had another interview today. That's cool. Anything crazy happened in the interview that was abnormal for you? You said you smashed it, so that's good. I just had a day that was full of getting back to all the different projects that I have going on and trying to remember what all I was doing on them. I actually did work some over the weekend when I wasn't supposed to be working because it was a holiday weekend, but I did I did Hey, welcome, local. Uh, local D admin. All right, welcome. So I don't know if there's anything that I missed today, but it certainly was a lot of time spent trying to figure out what in the world I was doing and getting back on the projects and everything. So that was fun. You've got a timed assessment of 8 hours. Should I use ChatGPT? Can they track me? Mm, oh, this is the one. Oh, this is the one where you used to work. Okay, cool. So I don't. I would only use ChatGPT if they made it clear that that was acceptable. Um, as to whether or not they can track you, I mean, there's a lot of opinions on that. I think I would just from a standpoint of wanting to be as upfront as possible, I would probably not use it unless I asked them and asked if they were and they were okay with me using it. Like say, and the way that I would approach that would be something like, "Hey, this is how I would typically do a project like this." And this is how I use ChatGPT. You know, make that clear and kind of put it in their plate to be like, no, we don't want you doing that, or yes, that's fine because that's how we want you to work if you get into this role. You know, I think for me, a lot of it would be a lot of it would be more around what they expect me to do in the role if I get the job, right? And so if I were asking somebody to do something like that, I would almost expect that they're going to use some sort of AI, and so I just think I think it would be better to ask though before you just do it. Um, that's the important thing. Uh, let's see. I have to look up. I don't know what you're talking about, local. On the Google thing. I have to look up and see what it is. The Google lawsuit. It seems like there's always some Google lawsuits, so I don't remember which one this is. This Tuesday was long, lots of meetings. Oh, antitrust Chrome search stuff. Interesting. Okay, I hadn't actually been following that, so I'll have to take a look. You know what? Let's ask. Let's see how up to date Claude is on it. I'm gonna remove this bottom thing because it's it doesn't seem to be updating, so I'd rather just remove it for now. There we go. Okay. Let's see. What is? Oh, I guess I want to pop over here if we're gonna do it. Doop doop. What is the latest on the Google Chrome antitrust lawsuit? Probably spelled incorrectly. That's all right, local. I'm fine. We're gonna get an idea here. See what it says. Based on search results, Google is facing multiple interest in monopoly case. August 2025. So this is behind. File an appeal. So what was the result then? Because it doesn't have it here. And of course, this wants me to pay. Stupid New York Times. They just want me to pay for anything. Let's see. Business Insider. Can't have exclusive search deals. Oh my goodness, everybody. Come on. Good grief. You can't just get the news anymore. What is this? All right. Stop Google from monopolizing the digital public square. Monopolist and has abused its monopoly power. Bum bum bum. Censoring and deplatform America. Okay, so it's about censoring and all that stuff. Interesting. So Google lost. Key digital advertising technologies referred to as the ad tech stack that website publishers depend on to buy and sell ads that reach millions of customers. Oh, interesting. Okay. Subverted competition for 15 years. Good grief. Well, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that happens when you have the power, right? I mean, not saying that it's right. It's just kind of a reality, unfortunately, of uh, of big companies. I thought it seems like they Google lost, right? That's what it looks like. Kinda. Well, yeah, there you go. That's true. And honestly, that's a good point. It even when these large tech companies lose, they don't really lose, right? Because it seems like nothing really ever actually happens. Um, and the little guys can't really get ahead, unfortunately. It's like even if there is an actual ruling against them, it's just a slap on the hand, or they restructure something and they become yeah, exactly. uh I mean, that's reality. We're kind of stuck. One When a company gets that big, I mean, even just going back to like the bailouts from years ago over the whole home buying thing. Like, in my opinion, they should have just let the banks die. If the bank made a bad decision, now obviously I know that has huge ramifications and all this stuff, but like we are so afraid of letting these massive organizations fail because we rely so much on them. But honestly, I mean, there's so much restructuring you could do, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Google's already got a plan to restructure things so that um, aspects of the ruling won't actually affect the way that they do business, because they'll just shuffle it under something else. I've seen that happen with even smaller companies. Actually, there's a company that I actually have stock in, called Angel. What is it? Angel something? Or Angel Studios. They do filtering for like videos and things like that. So like if I want my kids to watch a video, I can filter out language and stuff like that. And they started off as VidAngel, and they got in a big lawsuit with Disney, and basically they came to a settlement with Disney to where they would basically, I forget if they had to pay something. I think they paid Disney some amount of money, but then they had to basically make it to where they couldn't filter anymore. Well, they were getting into content creation at the time as well. Um, and so what they ended up doing is they had raised funds, and I had bought some stock in it back when they were just VidAngel, and they had raised funds, to build, but mostly for the fight against Disney, and so part of the issue is when they settled with Disney, they had to promise that they would never filter any Disney products. So that included like Marvel, things like that, because of the way that they were doing it. Now you've got there's other options like ClearPlay. We're getting into filtering talk now. Sorry, Ming. But there's other options out there too, so that's fine. But VidAngels actually seems to be doing pretty well. But they ended up, so getting back to it, they ended up splitting things, right? So they split VidAngel into its own company, and then this kind of the what is it, the content creation, or there's a different word for it, basically the distribution platform became Angel Studios, and everybody who was invested in VidAngel at the time actually became investors of Angel Studios. And so they're actually completely separate entities. They actually sold the VidAngel part to somebody else. So they're completely separate, and I still use VidAngel, and it works really well still. I mean, I really like it. It's still a great product. It's not owned by the same people anymore, but I think they've done a good job with it. It connects to multiple things like Amazon, Netflix, things like that. So I think they're doing pretty well local, for the most part. And then the Angel Studio side, they've done a lot of distributions, quite a number of distributions, and they're adding more and more all the time. They actually just finished a final funding round. I think they raised like $40 million here just in the last few weeks, and they are merging with another company, and they're going public here in just, I think, in a week or so, maybe even less. Might even be the end of this week. I forget. So they're all doing very well. But all of that to say, I wouldn't be surprised if Google just does something to restructure how they've got things set up to where the actual judgment that comes against them probably won't actually hurt anything in the long run. It'll just get shuffled around. That's what those big companies do. I mean, if these little companies like VidAngel can do that, like Google's got lawyers upon lawyers that can help them walk through all of that red tape, and these judgments won't really actually hurt them in the end. So that's the thing. Unfortunately, it would be nice if large companies could be held to the standards that apparently everybody else is supposed to be held to. But unfortunately, they can kind of get away with it because they're big enough. So anyway, yeah, that's interesting. Kind of depressing. I think it's most depressing knowing that nothing will actually really happen from it, probably. So there's that. Let's see. So, Ming, how are you feeling about the interview then? Oh, you have another live. I missed this one. You have another live coding test on Friday. Okay. Man, that's so annoying. I hate live coding tests. Well, hopefully you can take what you learned from the last one, and do better on this one. I mean, not necessarily that you did a poor job on the last one, but every opportunity is an opportunity to learn and grow and get better. So, I mean, hey, you'll always do better the second time. So hopefully this will be good. That's not too bad. How long do you have for the take home? It's a timed assessment of 8 hours. Uh, that's another thing I didn't catch on the first time. If it's a timed assessment, they might have some code in there that will check and see if you're switching browsers or something like that, losing focus. So that's another reason why I really wouldn't. I think they're all DSA monkeys. Wouldn't surprise me. So that's another reason why you probably shouldn't use ChatGPT on that assessment one, though. I didn't catch that it was timed. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, if you had more experience, I'm looking for developers. um, you're not a Laravel guy either, though. So, and we're looking for seniors. Sorry. Yeah, so that's honestly part of what I had to spend some of my weekend on, was going through looking at resumes. I probably looked at 30 resumes. So send it your way. All right. Are we connected on LinkedIn, Dan? I think we are. You might be too expensive for me, though. And welcome, by the way. Yeah, no, you won't. I guarantee you that. You will not be touching. You will not be touching that view code. That's for sure. Yeah, I've had a lot of other developers who would be very unhappy. Not that, I mean, we have some reactive devs too. I mean, it's not like we do React, but this project is a very large project and it's all in Vue, and that would not be fun to refactor out. So we've already got hundreds of tests, backend tests, and now we're adding in what is it? Pest, which is the new backend. Well, it's not new, but newer backend test framework for Laravel, and it got an update just recently where it also plugs into Playwright now, and you can use the same framework to write tests for the front end through Playwright. So, oh man, there it is. So that's good. It's cool. React Dev's gonna have war. Well, I'll just make sure and keep you away. How's that? So I don't know if Local's still on here or not, but thanks for dropping in, Local. And if you are here, say hi. Their run of out of memory and crash. That's true. That's very true. All that local state. Oh man. So we went over, like I said, we went over to my in-laws yesterday for the holiday, and my wife made lemonade, but like with real lemon extract and or juice, might just be lemon juice, I don't know. Like she made the real deal, and we still have some left over from yesterday, and I am very much hooked on it. So that's why I keep drinking. Endless re-renders. Exactly. That's funny. How was your weekend, Dan? Did you guys do anything crazy? Because you're working for. Well, that's a good question. Are you able to take the Monday off since you're working for a Australian company? Oh my goodness! Please, that's like a worse threat than React, Ming. Going from Laravel to Node and Express. I have another project that was started Node and Express, and it's been one of the worst experiences ever. Not just from a speed standpoint, but I mean, doing Laravel just gives you so much out of the box that is done well, and that's hard to redo in something else. Oh, that's right. I forgot you had the Elixir conference. That makes sense. Yeah. Did they not did they not pay for you to go to the Elixir conference? That is one nice thing. I was really happy about our company actually paid for several of our devs to Laracon this year. So out of pocket, man, that stinks. Isn't that what you do for them as Elixir? I forget these chats aren't loading anymore, so I have to read them out loud since no, in case anybody's wondering what's going on. Dan just said I'm getting paid in Aussie dollar bills, man. That's awesome. That's true. I don't know what is the currency difference. Uh, compare. Oops. U.S. dollar. If I can figure out how to type versus the Australian dollar. Oh yeah, man, 1.5 times. That's pretty. That's substantial. Laravel had too much boilerplate. Express is really efficient and simple. It's the boilerplate that makes your life easier, though. I will say that one thing I don't like on the starter kits with Laravel is that it's so Tailwind heavy. Um, Not that I hate Tailwind. It's okay. It's just I don't know. It just feels like pandering. But of course, the inventor of Tailwind was at Laracon, so maybe that's why they're pandering. They're pandering to him. Dan says, I disagree. It has a lot of things set up for you. Boilerplate is all the node packages you end up downloading anyway. That's true. There's a lot of node stuff you have to install if you're going the express route. Because everything is just built in. Authorization's built in. I mean, authentication, I should say, is built in. There's lots of stuff that's built in that you know you're missing out on, or you have to pull in lots of different packages. And the problem with that then, because it's not built in and you've got all these packages, now you've got to maintain and update all those packages too in the node side, where the more that's built into your framework, the fewer updates you have to make, or I should say the fewer things you have to update when it comes to that. So there you go. But yeah, man, I didn't realize it was that far off. $1.53 for every US dollar. So when Dan says he's making $200,000, I'm just kidding. uh, at least I don't have to deal with all these layers of objects. Objects are wonderful. What's wrong with you? Don't you like object in it? Oh, you're one of those. You're one of those functional guys, aren't you? That's why you like that React junk, because you're one of those functional people. No, I'll be honest with you. I've never really. Maybe it's because most of my experience has been in object-oriented programming. I've just never really cared that much about being pro or anti-functional versus OOP. So I don't know. I don't think it matters at the end of the day. I feel like I tend to think in terms of objects rather than in terms of functions. So for me, I think it makes the most sense to do OOP. But yeah, eh, eh. But object-oriented programming is all about. It's about doing things the way that humans think, right? I think because we live in a world where efficiency so like the vast majority of applications that are getting built out there are not being hammered in such a way that the benefits of functional programming's efficiency are not seen, if that makes sense. Like I think you really have to have a super high volume um, before you really start seeing the benefits of functional programming. And I would venture to say most applications just don't see um, that type of usage at the end of the day. Dan says, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, most JS devs say that they like functional programming when what they really mean is they don't like creating class definitions. Dan with the hot take today. And we'll see if Ming stays around. I always get confused with this and that and inheritance and extended. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I think it's just part of it is you got old guys like Dan and I or Dan and me who have been doing the same thing for too long. And so we only think a certain way. It's hard to change the way that you think about things, you know? So I think that's part of it. And if you're more recent in learning and what you're learning is more functional programming, you're going to tend to think in a more functional programming mindset. So again, I don't know if there's necessarily a pro or a con, that one's better than the other necessarily. I think it's just different mindsets at the end of the day. I'm just going to sit here and watch you guys debate in the chat and see if I can figure out how to put it back on the screen. Let's see. If I go back over here. See, that's the thing is it's not like, I wonder if there's a way to refresh. Is there a way to refresh this? I feel like there should be a way. So like if oh, hang on. Boom, refresh. Yes, auto connect. Transition. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Transition. There we go. Somebody type something. I guess I could type something. Hey, it's pulling back up. Yay. Awesome. Now I know if that stops, if it pauses again, I can go back in there and hit refresh. See, it's amazing all the fun things you learn. I still have to spend all that weekend, and I did actual work instead of doing anything to learn how to make the live streams better. Oh well. Well, it'll get better over time eventually. Ming, you just gotta immerse yourself, man. You just gotta jump into the deep end and tell yourself that object oriented programming is a blessing, and and that you just need to learn it. Yep. Yep. Oh man. All right, guys. Well, again, sorry about jumping a little late. Thanks for jumping in here, saying hi. Thanks for arguing with each other in the chat. That's been fun. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down for today. But I do have a few topics that I want to go over. Hopefully this week, unless something else pops up along the way. Dan's like, please turn it off so Ming will stop telling me. No, I do have some topics that I'd like to run through. I think maybe later on this week, and so hopefully we'll have time for that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to be here tomorrow. I have to be up in a different part of town tomorrow with for work, and then I've got some stuff at the church. So there's a good chance I won't be back in time to do the live stream, and I may just stay up there the rest of the night because I'll be up there tomorrow evening as well. So I might not be back till Thursday, but if I can jump on tomorrow, I will. But just fair warning, that might happen. So I'll keep everybody posted in the Discord server. But again, if you're watching this later now, because I'm getting ready to get off, if you're watching this later on YouTube, leave a comment. It helps the algorithm think that people actually enjoy this stuff. So besides Ming and Dan and local D admin, is it local dadmin? Maybe, I don't know if that's the right. How am I supposed to say that? Localdamin. It's like that silent letters. Local dadmin. I don't know. Whatever. I better stop in case he he jumps back on here and gets angry. So anyway, have a great day, guys. Thanks for jumping in. Thanks for joining the chat. I appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow. If not, probably on Thursday for sure-ish. As sure as I can be these days. So I'll see you all later.